Hi, and welcome to the Revive, Thrive, and Optimize podcast. I'm Billy Weiss, compounding pharmacist and health and wellness expert. Today, I have a very special guest, all the way from Pennsylvania, Vince. Vince, how are you doing, sir?
I'm feeling pretty good.
So we met in March on an RV camping trip. We were Charleston, South Carolina. Is that where we met?
That's where it started.
That's where it started. Okay. That's where all the fun began. All right. So you and I've already done an episode with Jenny, but Beth and I knew the very first time we talked to y'all that we really had a lot in common, really enjoyed being with you, and that we had a lot in common as far as thinking of healthy things, trying to find healthy foods, right? Trying to find things that would make us live longer, healthier, better lives. So tell us, what have you done since we met?
Since we've met?
Since we met.
Well, I have been consistent in taking a variety of supplements. I have been consistent in maintaining chiropractic visits. I have done a lot of preaching about healthy living to my family and friends. And Jenny and I got engaged in Italy in May.
Nice.
And we are getting married on September 1. So that's what we've been doing, and here we are.
And we're going to be there.
Yes, you will.
September 1.
Because we know where you live now. We'll hunt you down.
We have to be there.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about your health journey. You had some health issues in the past.
I did. It was more familial, meaning my wife was diagnosed with cancer in about 2005. Mm-hmm. It was renal cancer, and she went through the recommended procedures. So she had a kidney out. She also had ovarian cancer at the same time. They took that as well. She only had one ovary left. Then they did a hysterectomy afterwards as a second surgery. They did chemo. They did radiation. And after all of that, pronounced her cancer-free. And we celebrated and took a cruise. This was 10 years later when she was pronounced. And about a year after that, she was diagnosed with metastatic renal cancer with multiple tumors throughout her body.
Yeah.
So in effect, she had cancer for almost 18, 19 years. Part of it was hidden. We thought we had it under control, but we didn't. And she then went through a whole other round of recommended therapies, which in the end killed her because she was taking chemotherapy daily, orally, and the end result was her digestive tract was destroyed.
Yeah. So you're saying 1 year approximately after they told her all was cleared, you're cancer-free, is when the metastatic disease was found.
Was discovered, yeah. Correct. And that was including a tumor in her heart, 3 tumors in her remaining kidney, 2 tumors in her liver, and 1 in her pancreas.
Yeah. So in other words, that clear sign that we hear so much of, and then unfortunately doing what I do for 34 years, I've seen this over and over and over where people are told, oh, we got it all, you're clear. Then they come up with the same or a secondary cancer or cancers, unfortunately, like your wife. So what does that make your thought process as far as your health and the health field and the medical field at this point in your life?
Well, I felt betrayed by medical science. I felt there had to be another way that one could live their life healthy, pain-free. And then I met this lady named Jenny T. And she was already on that journey, and she was a guide and started pointing me in the right direction of where I needed to be, and had me read a book that was called Younger Next Year. It was also a test. If I didn't read the book, she was gone. Because what you learn in this is that if you have a partner in your healthy quest,
Yes.
It is a much stronger approach to what you're doing because you are reinforcing each other in your decisions and what you're and where you're headed. And so I went from novice to learning enough, and then meeting you and learning more, and then becoming an advocate for her and making suggestions on what she might do in order to return to health. So it was a circumstance that happened, and a timely meeting with somebody else that was going to be a part of my life, and then gaining knowledge. And so I had a spirit that was willing to be open, and that's the word that I hear all the time in this process. You have to be open to want to do this, because it's one thing to not be satisfied with what medical science gives you and say there really has to be another way to deal with what life dishes out to you. And so I've learned that it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of focus, and a lot of resilience to focus yourself to go for healthy living in all that you do. And that's what we're about. So now we have two people on a quest for healthy living, and we're doing a lot of things we never thought we would be doing at our age, which is in our 70s. And we now believe that we have a long time ahead of us to enjoy life.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, right, Vince? You're obviously older than you've ever been, but you've been to Italy this year. You did the RV trip because we were there with you. I mean, you're getting married this year. You're remodeling your house this year. But one of the things that I knew about you and Jenny right up quick was how committed you were to health and how you were willing to invest. And you immediately said, yes, I want the Kangen water machine. You immediately said, I want the multi-pure unit with my Kangen machine. You immediately got supplements. You immediately started peptide bioregulators. And what's even cooler is this weekend when you got to my house, you said, we're going to have to talk about what's next. What are the next steps to get even better, right? And I love that about your attitude on this.
That's correct. And it's, it's changed my life. I mean, I've been doing this now probably no longer than 9 months.
Right.
But it's been heavy duty for 9 months. And there are some real obvious changes that have occurred. But I know I can get even better. And I think that in my quest to try to be pain-free and to be healthy and not be hit with a major disease. And by the way, you and I have discussed there's no guarantees in
Correct.
Any of this, but you can give yourself an edge. And what it does is it changes your mindset. Your mindset now becomes, I'm positive about going where I'm going and what I'm going to do tomorrow and how I'm going to wake up tomorrow. And it's sort of like saying to yourself, okay, in the last year, how many days have you woke up at 100% of what you really wanted to be? And I can say about 98%.
Man, that's awesome.
And I just sit back and I wake up in the morning and I do the inventory, okay, toes, legs, ankles, hips, back, and things are okay. And so it gives you the focus to say, okay, we're back at it, okay? This is another day to achieve another step closer to what you want to achieve, and that is tomorrow wake up the same way.
Yes.
And we were talking today about, good pain, bad pain. Good pain is when you've worked hard and you've lifted things and you've done things with your body you haven't done in a long time, and then the next day you're sore and you go, okay, I'm sore. But it's a good sore because I'm building muscle.
Correct.
Because of what I've done, as opposed to just waking up and saying, now, why do I have that lower back pain?
Yes.
But there's a lot of things to do. I mean, Jenny and I just did a 7-mile moderately difficult hike. And I'm using hiking poles for the first time in my life. And it was like rowing a boat for 7 miles. And it was fun until I said to her, you know what, this isn't fun anymore. I think I'm ready to end this hike. But it was really eye-opening of what I had brought my body to at that point to be able to sustain myself through that. And in the next day, I actually wasn't even sore, which was really surprising.
7-mile hike and you weren't sore.
And I wasn't sore the next day.
I love it.
It was hilarious. And then, and I have an electric bike, folks. Yes, I know everybody's out there groaning. And I used to say, well, they would say, well, how many calories do you use up riding an e-bike? And I would say 50 because I'm grinning so much. However, on this particular trip, I went to hook up the e-bike and my battery was dead. And so I said to her, well, I'm sorry, let's just go riding without it. And we did a 10-mile hike, and I wasn't sore either. How about that?
So you hiked and you biked,
Yep.
and you didn't get sore.
Nope.
And that's a testament to all the things you're doing, right?
I think so.
You're doing a lot of my supplements.
Yes.
You're doing Kangen water, and you're doing other things that you talked about, chiropractic care. I mean, it's not just all my stuff. You were already beginning, like you said, on the health journey, and you were trying to improve. And so you're taking what you're learning and you're implementing it, right?
You have to be aware of what your body says to you all the time. Your body doesn't say something without having some importance attached to it. So if you are, Jenny would look at me and say, you're walking and you're bent over. You've got to get more upright. So you start to think, okay, I need to walk with my hips, and I got to, throw my head back and get that balanced. And you also need to think about, okay, I'm not going to, I'm just trying to think what else we do. We look for ways to use our bodies as opposed to saying, I'm just going to read a book today and I'm just going to sit. You learn in this process that every day you sit, you're going backwards in your journey. You're not going forward in your journey. And so there's a time to sit, but it's not all day, and it's not for hours at a time. It's a moment where you enjoy yourself, because what you're doing when you read now is mental gymnastics, not physical gymnastics, and that's also part of the journey.
I love that. I love the fact that you say, hey, I'm doing some mental gymnastics right now. And it is part of the journey, right? Keeping our mind sharp. You and I talked about this a little bit after lunch today. We need to be able to keep our mind sharp, and the best way to do that is the same way we keep our body sharp, and that is to use it.
Right.
To think.
And I was a practicing lawyer for almost 50 years, and when I retired 3 years ago, within a year and a half, 2 years, you get a little bit of the fog, and it's gone.
It's awesome.
All gone.
Yeah.
So
now, Vince, you said something to me, and I don't remember exactly how you put it, but something to the effect of, I feel great and I'm having the time of my life. How did you say that exactly? Do you remember?
Well, in addition to trying to be younger next year, every year going forward, Ginny and I have reasons to want to celebrate life that we now have. We both dealt with people who went through long-term illness. We became caregivers. We saw how you detach from your partner in becoming a caregiver. Not that you love them less, but you're no longer really the same, and they are no longer the same. And it went on for a long time. She went through the same thing. So when we got together, we believed that really, for lots of funny reasons that I won't get into, and we laugh about it all the time, but she had the quickest delete finger on eHarmony, I think, than anybody ever had. And somehow, some way, she couldn't use the delete on me. I don't know how it happened, but we really think that God had a lot to do with it. And so we believe that God put us together to enjoy what we have remaining in life. And we are putting in, the way I now describe it, we've got 20 QRT, which is quality remaining time. Got 20 years, because if I'm 75 now, I'm going to make it to 95, and I'm going to be healthy. Now we're trying to put 2 years worth of fun into every year, so we're going to enlarge the amount of QRT by another 20 years.
I love it.
So we're having we're doing all the things that we would have loved to have done with the spouses we had at the time, but for their illnesses, and now we can do it. And
That's
we're doing
awesome.
it. So,
And I do think when you talk about how y'all were put together by God, when Beth and I meet you, it's like y'all are just meant to be, no doubt. I mean, really, you just really it's like you fit the puzzle pieces together perfect.
we did.
You really do.
We did. And I am the kind of person that went by instinct. And I said, this is a kind person. This is a nice person. This is a fun person. She is a psychologist and had to test me in so many ways until I said, enough. Make up your mind. I'm either going to be a patient or I'm going to be a good friend. And it turned out to be a great friend. That's right.
Evaluation's over.
That's right. Make up your mind.
I got you.
And she laughed because we both remember the moment. I just said, give me your hands. And she went, okay. And literally, we had not held hands in 5 dates. And I said, you need to make up your mind. You want to go forward? You want to stop? It's okay. You just make up your mind.
Right.
And then she said, give me your hands.
I love it. I love it.
So,
Well, y'all seem to get along great and complement each other very well.
well, thank you.
And I'm so glad that just met you in March, but you like talked about with her, now you're here
Yep.
in Kings Mountain. You drove over 8 hours to get here.
Yep.
We're driving over 8 hours to get to you in September and watch your wedding and be a part of your wedding. So can't wait.
Well, you know, and I know you grab on to life and hang on for the ride.
Yep.
And that's what we're doing. We're hanging on for the ride.
Yep. What's Ferris Bueller say? You better look around every once in a while or you might miss something, right? Something to that effect. So
Yeah, well, we are looking at all the things that life potentially can give. So we are in an RV and we want to see the USA. And
Right.
We're going to do that. We also travel outside the USA because we enjoy things. We went to Italy, but we went, I know people will laugh, to eat. And that's what we did. It was a foodie trip.
Right.
So we went to eat, and we did, and we ate great pasta, and we ate other great things. And she gained 2 pounds, and I gained 1 pound. And you said you went to Italy and gained nothing. I don't know. You don't eat. But it was those sorts of things that they're simple things, but they're important things in life.
yeah, and you should be able to go to Italy and eat, right?
Right.
I mean, Beth and I had things we wouldn't do here. We had pasta, we had pizza, we had bread. I mean, it's things that we wouldn't eat here, but you also have to realize that the quality of the food there, what's allowed to be served there, is different than it is here.
True.
It's not genetically modified. It's in season things. And you say that, and we really did both lose weight. We did not gain weight on our trip to Italy, but we were walking and hiking and not that y'all weren't, but I mean, we just did so much activity. But yeah, we enjoyed the food. We had a great time. But it just goes to show we had our supplements with us. We drank water. I mean, and I know y'all did all that too, because we've talked about it. If you take care of your body, you can go out and have those enjoyable times, right? You can enjoy life. You can go do those things and eat the pasta.
Health is a three-legged stool. It's nutrition, it's exercise, and it's mental and positive mental connection with somebody else.
Yeah.
You get those three things going, you have a chance to live a long time.
And you know, Vince, you say that about the positive mental stuff, and I think that is one of the reasons that we were drawn to each other. That Beth and I immediately hit it off with y'all, and y'all immediately seemed to hit it off with us, and we were just like, I really like those people. You know what I mean? I never forget that first night when we were at the restaurant at that big table, and it's loud in there, but you and I were close enough to talk, and Jenny. Beth was on the other side and couldn't really hear what we were talking about. But then the next day we ate together lunch. And I'll never forget, we got back to the RV and Beth's like, I really like them. She's like, they are really nice people.
You have to be able to be optimistic that life is going to be fun.
Yes.
And that's where.
And that's what I love about what you said. It's something, again, essentially, we're having the time of our life.
We are.
And we're going to enjoy it till we can't enjoy it anymore, right? And we're planning to enjoy it for a long time, and we're going to try to shove twice as much in every year as we should be able to. So I love that attitude. I think that keeps you young. I think that keeps you healthy. I think that keeps you sharp. I think that keeps you active. And it gives you something to look forward to, right? You got other trips coming up, right, this year?
Yes. Our honeymoon is going to be 42 days long. We're going to go to Utah, and we're going to go to Albuquerque and see the Hot Air Balloon Festival.
I love it.
And next year we only have 4 trips planned, but it's we'll
It's
find
still
a
early.
fit.
It's still early,
It's
right?
still early. We have time to plan.
I love it. Well, let's find a trip we can do together, like we were talking about. Would be really fun again.
Yep.
So, tell me, Vince, what is your, if you were prioritizing your supplements, what would you list as maybe your top 2 or 3 supplements that you're using right now, currently, that you've noticed the most benefit from?
Since I take quite a few.
Yes, you do.
Let me de-emphasize vitamins, even though I think you should take them, and I do. So
Okay.
the multivite, the vitamin D, the vitamin C, these other vitamins are really off to the side. I think, although I was vitamin D deficient at one point in time in my life, and that's pretty important to bring back. I would think magnesium is a biggie. I think for an older man, nitric oxide is a
Yes.
biggie. So of all the things that I'm taking, I would rate those 2 in that order, and with a third one following, which is a digestive enzyme, to just really help, because I had acid reflux, which is now pretty much gone.
Right.
That you really need to, and along with Kangen water, those 2 fill the third step in the process, because it brings your pH to a much better level, and I think your digestion just works so much better. So it's, you approach a meal even depending upon the hour, and sometimes if it was later in the evening, you would be hesitant to eat very much, particularly if you haven't eaten a whole lot during the day, and you have to ask yourself, is this something I want to do? But with the supplements, you feel confident that whatever the reaction is going to be, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. No, and I love that idea that, yes, and I agree 100% with the magnesium. Obviously, I've said it 1,000 times. If I'm on Gilligan's Island, I can only take one. I'm filling a suitcase with my magnesium. So I love the fact that you also believe that that's number one. And obviously, your second one, nitric oxide, to get more oxygen
Right.
throughout the body is extremely important for all of us. And then the fact that the digestive enzyme is a gut supplement, nutrient,
Right.
and the fact that 80% of our immune system's found there. We had a discussion at lunch today about autoimmune diseases start in the gut and how important it is to have that healthy gut, and the fact that you've been able to overcome, or your body has overcome, the reflux, the heartburn. I mean, all those make perfect sense. It's a great answer. So I want to finish up our talk today with another question for you. And we don't prepare these. I don't tell him I'm going to ask this, or any guest I'm going to ask this. But if you were given the people listening today a piece of advice, what's the number one piece of advice that you would tell the people listening?
Well, there's actually 2, but they go
Okay, yeah.
hand in glove.
Yeah, great.
The first is to recognize that taking control of your health is an option that should be seriously considered. And number 2, if you make that decision, be relentless in following it. And following it so that you are making sure that you are, if you're feeling ill, for example, you boost up your vitamin C. If you think your immune system is down, you react. You're not on the phone or thinking that a medical doctor is going to be the answer if I get too sick. The objective is to avoid it altogether. And that's what you do in this process. I'm listening to my body, and I'm going to react. I've got a problem. I'm going to take care of it now, not tomorrow.
I love it, Vince. And you really, the first part of your answer is so spot on because you're essentially saying, be the CEO of your own health. You can do it. But then you're saying, educate yourself and take action. Be aggressive, be assertive. Don't wait until you've been diagnosed with cancer. Let's address what's going on now, or an autoimmune disease or whatever, right? You're saying if we get the warning signal, take action.
Right.
Do
it's
something.
like if you're feeling tired, your body is telling you something.
Right.
Because you're not waking up and feeling like, I'm ready to go.
Right.
So if that's happening, you have to ask yourself, what is in my arsenal that I can start to bring me back?
I love it.
To be away from being tired.
I love it.
And people, some people say, well, you're just getting old. And I go, oh, no, I'm not.
Vince, I hate that answer when people give that answer. So I think what you're saying is let's learn to revive. Let's learn to thrive. Let's learn to optimize every day.
Yep.
And take the steps necessary to do so.
Exactly.
Vince, I can't tell you what a pleasure it's been. I can't tell you, the audience, how much fun it is to be around you and Jenny and how funny and witty you really are. I can't imagine you in a courtroom and how much laughter that was going on with the judge and the jury and everybody there. So it's been a pleasure. I can't wait to see you in September for the wedding.
Well, thank you. We're looking forward to seeing you there.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right.